All right, today, kindergartners, we have been working on our first counting strategy. And our counting strategies are ways for us to count so that we don't make mistakes. Good mathematicians have strategies, and it's a nice big word. So the first strategy we learned today was count and scoot. Say that, count and scoot. And we learned that if you scoot objects as you count them, it helps you to make a more accurate counting. And so we learned today how to do that. So here's what we're gonna do. Today you're gonna need some of your counting materials. I have my noodles, I have my counters, I have my puff balls, and I have my bears. So you can have any of those objects out and ready to practice. We're gonna practice today for our job. So I'm gonna move those out of the way, and the first one I'm gonna use is my counters. So what I'd like you to do is take one of your counting tools. I want you to reach in, grab a small handful, and put them out on your table, okay? Now, I can't really count them very well like this, because remember, there's something very important we have to do before we count and scoot. We need to organize, remember? So everybody say organize. That means we're gonna put them in a way that's easy to see where our starting place and where our stopping place is. We wanna leave a little space between them. And now I have organized because I have a starting place and a stopping place. So would you organize yours and then point to your start and point to your stop? All right, and now I'm ready to use this strategy of count and scoot. So watch how I do mine first. I'm gonna touch each one, and as I move it, I'm going to say the number. So I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And make sure, boys and girls, that you don't count it until you're scooting it.
So I got, my quantity was 7. So I'm gonna take my strategy poster and flip it over, and I'm gonna practice writing my quantity. My quantity was 7. I counted and scooted, and I got 7. So make a line across the sky and down to the ground. There we go, I have 7. That was my first quantity. So now I'm going to set my pen aside, and I'm going to try a different quantity. So I'm gonna put this tool away, and I wanna try my noodles. So I'm gonna reach in, grab a small quantity, a small handful, not a big handful, just a small handful. And I'm gonna use count and scoot. But remember, the first step is to organize. This is not organized. I don't know where my start is, I don't know where my stop is. So I'm gonna organize them, and I'm gonna organize them like this. I'm gonna put them like that, and then like that. Now, I want you to organize your tool, and then I want you to point to where your starting place is. This is gonna be my start. And then I'm gonna go down, and this is gonna be my stop. Now I'm ready to count and scoot. I'm gonna count mine, and remember, you can't count it until you scoot it. So watch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got the same quantity. So now I'm gonna write my quantity on the back of my strategy poster. So I got 7 for that one. I'm gonna do one more, and I think I'm gonna use noodles again. You could use bears, you could use puff balls, but remember, just take a small handful, not a large handful. I'm gonna take a small handful and grab some out. And we're using our count and scoot, but remember, the first thing I do is, yes, organize. So I have to make them so that they're in an organized way. Then point to your start, point to your stop, and now you're ready to count. So I'm gonna count and scoot. 1, 2, 3, 4. My new quantity is 4. So I'm going to write the number for my quantity. Down and over, and down once more. That's how we write the number 4. Now, after you practice a few times and you practice writing the quantities, then it's going to be your turn to upload a video to Seesaw. And what I would like you to do is choose one of your tools, grab a small handful, show the camera, have your parent videotape you and show the camera how you organize first, then how you have a start and how you have a stop, and then count and scoot for us, and then write your quantity. And then upload your video to Seesaw so Miss O and I can see how you have learned the strategy of count and scoot. Don't forget, boys and girls, that when you are done with this big mess, you can't leave it like this. We're going to use these tools again. So job number 1 is to make sure all your counting tools are put back in their bags, because they can easily get lost under a table or a couch or a chair. Make sure all the bags are sealed up. Put your bags back in your toolbox. Erase, because that whiteboard pen likes to get stuck on there. Make sure the cap is pushed on. You can put your counting strategies back in your toolbox. Put your pen in your sock back in your toolbox, and have a nice clean working area.
Take a video of you using the counting and scoot strategy so that we can see you practicing.